And same thing here. If you got to tell everybody you're the leader, you're probably not. So winning too much, you got to be careful of that one. Number 2, adding too much value. You ever been in a conversation with somebody and they always have to top your story? You ever been in a conversation with someone, no matter what idea that you have, they've got one just a little bit better? Oh, that's a good idea, but, and they'll go off on something else, and eventually you're like, and no matter what I say, they're going to top it with something just a little bit better because they're trying to show, yeah, I thought through. Well, that's good, but, and what that's really saying is, that's a stupid idea. Let me tell you mine, right? And again, that's not a good sign for a leader. You don't have to throw your 2 cents into every conversation. Let me give you a personal example. There are many times people come up to me and they're talking through their leadership organization. They're like, I'm thinking about running this promotion. What do you think about me doing this? You know, and unless it's really off, I'm going to probably just say, you know what? That sounds like a great promotion. And here's why. Because I want them to own it. I don't want them to own my idea, because if I throw my 2 cents, like I said, if it's off, I'll change it. But I want to, well, what do you think the idea should be? Because if it's their idea, they'll own it to a way bigger responsibility than if it's, well, Orrin told me to do this. This is leadership. We want people to take leadership. So I encourage that. So there's many times you're like, well, you have this thing going in this organization and another thing over here going in this organization. And I'm like, well, I know they'll both get to the final spot, but the key is it was their idea. And I didn't want to throw in all my 2 cents here and then make it my idea. I didn't want to add too much value to where I lost the sense of ownership. So that's a key one. Number 3, passing judgment. The need to rate others and impose our standards on them. Well, they're not doing it just like I'm doing it. And you'll hear an idea and you say, well, I don't really think that's the right way to do it. And you have to, if every time someone's around you, they feel like you're judging them, they're going to spend less time with you. And can we go back to, again, what's the definition of leadership? Influence in a positive direction. So if people do not want to spend time with you, chances are you're not influencing them again. And so if you want hundreds of people to look forward to spending time with you, stop judging and start encouraging. It's amazing. I mean, it's really a simple thing if we can take the focus, again, get self out of the equation. So much of the time, every time we hear something, we're filtering it through what we think, which is good. Well, how do I think on that? But then we've got to stop long enough to say, do we really have to judge everything that they do? Do we have to, and then even if we judge it, do we have to tell them that we're judging? I mean, some people are like, oh, if I think it, I got to say it. That's a $1 million mistake right there. It was amazing how much my marriage improved, not when I learned to say more, but when I learned to say less. It's what I didn't say that improved our marriage a lot, and vice versa. Lori, what she didn't say. We stopped passing judgment on everything. Made a huge difference for us. Number 4. Making destructive comments. This one kind of builds on the last one. Have you ever been around someone that's constantly making sarcastic comments? Constantly doing cutting remarks, thinking it's funny? Laughing, not at themselves. Man, I love spending time with leaders who can laugh at themselves. One of the things that Chris Brady and I, when we get together, we literally crack up. It's almost like we've known each other so long, we don't actually even tell the story anymore. We'll say like, number 7. Number 7's a good one. Boy. Number 12. Because we know the stories. I mean, we say one word, we start cracking up. But listen, this is a key point. We tell stories about the dumb things we did. and we laugh at each other. I know we say, well, why wouldn't that work the other way? I don't know. All I can say is like, it's great when you see a leader laughing at themselves. It makes them real. That's what I listen to when my wife speaks and she's telling crazy stories. It makes her very relatable because you realize that, wow, man, she went through a lot of challenges and overcame them and became a great leader. But if we flipped it around and said, oh, and let me tell you this person, and they might start laughing at other people's expense, man, people don't enjoy that. You know why? They're already spending enough time beating themselves up. They don't need you to add on. You know, one of the greatest, it's amazing to me, the radical change in your leadership. If you have a sarcastic tongue, which means you're quick, you can pick things up and laugh, and man, I used to have a field day slicing and dicing people. That's probably my part of that arguing early and late thing. And man, I thought we were having the greatest time, but I found a lot of people didn't really enjoy the association. And when I turned that around and started saying, if I'm going to laugh, I'm going to tell crazy stories about myself. I'm going to tell the crazy things that I did. And then let people laugh at me, but actually they're laughing with me. And in the process of laughing with me, they start thinking of their own faults and foibles and say, well, man, if Orrin was able to have these faults and he was able to make it, then maybe I can too. You see the difference? One, you're looking down on people and making people feel smaller. One, you're going down to their level to lift both. A rising tide lifting the ship for both. So make a decision today. If you have that biting, sarcastic tongue, whether it be to your spouse, whether it be to your children, whether it be to your peers, make a decision today to end it. Man, if you did that, right there, your leadership will start to change. You will find people will start seeking you out because they know you're safe. I'm safe with this person. I can come into their presence and I don't have to risk who I am because they make me feel safe. Better yet, replace the sarcasm with some encouragement. Then they'll say, not only am I safe, but I feel better about myself when I'm with them. In making destructive comments, just end it.